Well, hello again. Welcome to More Assholes with the Podcast, MAWPCAST. This is Mike with another Shortcuts episode for you. And the theme for today will be romance. I know that's not in the title, but you'll understand soon why. Um, I'll start with the full disclosure that, yes, I've recently gone through a divorce. Yes, it was fun. I mean, horrible. But at the same time, it happens. But the reason I bring this up, the importance of it is I feel like it's drained me of my ability to put forth effort in romance. And the best way I can describe it, like when I think about putting that effort forth, like I thought about saying something simple like, "Oh, it's like doing yard work, or it's like doing a chore, or washing dishes and not using spatulas for forks." Like I thought maybe that was apt, but it's not. For the best analogy, I have to go back to my childhood. I was 8 years old. It was Halloween, and I finally got my first like $30 store bought costume. I was super excited. I finally got a superhero costume. It was Spider-Man. And my parents were like, "Oh, we don't know if we want to spend that much money," but they did, and I was excited. I was like, "Yes, let's do this." So, I bring home the Spider-Man costume, and I think, yeah, I'm going to put this Spider-Man costume on, and it's going to make everything better. I'm going to be a cool kid. I'm going to fit into the costume and just turn into this muscle-bound superhero. I'm going to feel super. I'm going to have it. I'm going to have the powers. I'm going to web sling all that crazy shit. Maybe not web sling, but at least do, crazy gymnastics. I'll have that, if nothing else. But the sad truth is, in my parents' room, they let me alone, shut the door, and I dressed in the costume, and they had one of those tall standalone mirrors. And I put the costume on, and I looked in the mirror, and I was not super. I was just a fat little boy, suffocated by bright colored cloth. And that was the first moment in my life where I had self-consciousness. It was an insecure moment, and I immediately had to take the costume off, get back in my clothing, and I told my parents, who both very kindly bought me this costume, that no, I would not wear this costume. I realized that costume did not, in fact, make me super. It just made me look like a fat little kid. Did not go well, but that is the truth. That's what happened. That's how I feel like putting effort in romances now. I feel like every time I go to make this romantic gesture, this effort, I'm putting on a costume. And like, yes, this will change it all. This will make me be the man I want to be again. I'll put back on the Spider-Man costume. But every time I do, I look in that mirror and realize I am emotionally out of shape. Emotionally fat. Emotionally a fat Spider-Man. It doesn't do good things for my self-confidence, and it does even worse things for my possibility of being romantic. So that being said, I think this whole idea of being romantically, you know, driven or to put that effort forth is kind of crazy. And I think about my past. I'm like, how was I before? And then I realized it all came naturally. It all happened in the moment. It all happened with the right woman, the right set of circumstances, and the right mindset. And a good example of that is, and this relationship didn't necessarily go anywhere, but it was a moment in time that really worked. And I visited this girl in Monterey, California, and we took a trip to Santa Cruz. It was just a day trip. We went to see a movie at a Nickelodeon theater. That was the first set of the romantic stage. We go there, they've got plaques on the back of every seat of all the contributors who kept this theater alive. We watched a beautiful movie called Midnight in Paris, all about literature. It had Owen Wilson, random things. That made it good. But that was a nice start. We had coffee, and then we walked out into the streets and walked down the streets. And as night began to set, there's mariachi band. I know it's a nightmare for a lot of people, but for us, they didn't hunt us down. We found them, so that's a good thing. And we walk up, and they're singing, they're playing, and a bunch of people are watching. And I just get this urge. It's not something I thought to do. It wasn't an effort. It was just, I'm gonna do this now. I grab this girl's hand, I pull her in the circle of people in the opening, and we just dance. By the way, can't dance at all. She couldn't dance either, I found out. But we danced for at least 4 songs straight, and people are cheering us on and clapping and doing crazy shit. And it's one of the most romantic times I've ever had. And that's the problem with these kind of moments. Sometimes it's just that's it. You don't have a relationship. They don't go anywhere, but at the same time, is that a problem? It's like a fireworks display at, in the center of a dark horizon. You're looking out over a dark ocean, and that's there. It's bright, it's beautiful, the best thing you've ever seen. But surrounding it is nothingness for the most part. And I have to say that it sounds depressing and I feel drained, but just having relived that moment just now, it does give me hope. I mean, the fact that I emotionally invested in that just now in a moment that's passed years ago and felt romantic again, it gives me hope that I can be that way again if I can just find the right woman, the right situation, and have the right mindset. Maybe I won't always be this fat little Spider Man. That's all I've got. And subscribe if you like. Like us, comment. We'll talk to you soon.